Hey, good morning. It's Mark here with another morning rant. 6:27. So it's fairly early. Yeah, fairly early. We all know what happened Wednesday with Ahmaud Arbery's murder trial. The son, I think there were 8 charges total. The son got all 8 because he actually did the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. The father, I think he got 6 charges of guilty. And the guy who did the videotaping, he got a couple charges. Now, he didn't get the main charge of, I can't remember the charges, but that was like this first charge that was, I didn't know they had all these different types of names for murder. But I've heard this saying before, and I've told this to my children. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So the guy that did the videotaping, he was not the murderer. He did not shoot Ahmaud Arbery. He did not detain Ahmaud Arbery. He videotaped the murder. But he got charged with murder just as much as the father and son did. How can you take someone that's running? Like, is it against the law to run in this country? In my military career, I ran. And I ran in the dead of night. I would run 4 o'clock in the morning. I had on my, what you call it, the glow belt. In most cases I didn't. Most cases it was just me and my headphones, and we just took off. And someone saw this kid running. Now, mind you, was he right for walking around that construction site? No, he wasn't right for walking around that construction site. He was wrong for walking around that construction site. He should not have walked around that construction site. But does that involve, does walking around that construction site or that home that's being refurbished, walking around that home and looking around, does that justify murder? No. And just because he quote unquote fit the description, Dave Chappelle had this joke on one of his earlier stand-ups, where he said, be on the lookout for black male from the height was from 4'7" to 6'2". You're looking for a black male from height 4'7" to 6'2". Every black man should stay in the house. So, because he fit a description, you want to justify citizen's arrest by shooting this guy. It seems like every black man fit the description. How about this? I was watching a video just to show you another example before I get into my actual video, just to show you an example of another example of white privilege. I hope I can find it because I watch a lot of videos on YouTube. So it was from Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Yep, here we go. I found it. Thank you. Here we go. I want you guys to see this video and watch what happened to this white gentleman and why he was able to do what he did.
Means that white people who are committing crime get away with it. See how that works? If you are for crime reduction, you should be for the elimination of racial profiling because it works opposite of crime reduction. Let me give you case in point, city of Atlanta. Put up his picture. His name is Michael Goldberg. Atlanta police said an investigation led to the arrest of a serial burglar who was accused of breaking into at least a dozen Atlanta businesses. We know today he actually broke into more, allegedly. Police said Michael Goldberg is responsible for several Atlanta commercial burglaries that showed some of the same characteristics. Goldberg is accused of breaking into several restaurants, spas, salons, and at least one auto care store. Now, let me read to you some of the street addresses. Peachtree Road, Roswell Road, Roswell Road, Roswell Road, Roswell Road, Peachtree Road, Peachtree Road, Roswell Road, Peachtree Road, Roswell Road. And the list goes on and on. Literally, the guy broke into establishments at the same location or very close to the location, and he did this over a significant period of time. He would go case out the joint, know what he was going to do, stayed in the same area, and these folks saw him every day. Why was he not considered suspicious? Because the areas he went to, he put up his picture. He did not look out of place. You see, I guarantee you if Mr. Goldberg would have been a black male in all of those frequented by white people establishments, somebody would have said, you know, there was a guy here this weekend, black male looks suspicious. He was here last week as well. Nobody suspected him. He was there in all of those locations, same vicinity, and he was able to rob them blind over and over and over and over and over again.
Because that man was white, he was able to, quote unquote, blend in and thereby case the joint, rob different places in the same neighborhood because he didn't fit a certain profile, because he was white. Not that I don't give credence to his look on his mugshot, because everybody looks terrible on a mugshot. But who knows what this man could have looked like while he was walking around these different areas. But because he didn't seem out of place, he was able to rob all those places along the same roads. But a black kid running through a neighborhood fit the description. He was a criminal. He had to be stopped. And because he fought back, he was killed. No different than Zimmerman and I can't remember the kid's name. Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin was taking a shortcut through a neighborhood. And it was reported that he was a bad kid, that he had done some bad things in school. But Trayvon Martin had some freaking iced tea and Skittles walking through a neighborhood. And because of that, some goofball followed him, accosted him. When Trayvon Martin kicked his ass, he felt threatened and killed him. And he was justified for that. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. The police officer told Zimmerman, do not follow him. He disobeyed that advice, and a 17-year-old was kicking his grown ass. He got scared and shot that kid. Ahmaud Arbery was jogging through a neighborhood. He was running while black. These three goofballs saw him, thought he fit a description, chased him down, shot him. Look at the video. The father was up in there and he started to panic when he saw Ahmaud Arbery fighting back. I feared for my life. Then why did you chase him? I say all that to get to this. I don't read all of Fox News's stories. Okay. I like to go to the comments. And in some cases they close off the comments. They don't let the comments go through. But I like to listen. I like to read the comments. And you won't believe some of the words that are being said in the comments about Ahmaud Arbery. So the title of this thing is Ahmaud Arbery's mother hopes guilty verdict will send message of accountability. Decent title. Ms. Cooper Jones says her son's legacy is already bringing change to the world. Decent title, decent subtitle. Okay? Let's get to the comments. You won't believe it. Can we discuss Ahmaud Arbery's criminal record? Or does black privilege absolve him of those wrongs? Does his criminal record justify 3 civilians murdering him? This is what I don't understand. Every black person is a criminal. Let's go to his criminal record. When that police officer walked into the wrong house and shot that black kid in his own home because she walked into the wrong house, the first thing they did was said, this guy had weed in the house. He had less than not even an ounce. He probably had, what do they call them now? He probably had just 1 cigarette. If that's, I feel so old now. You know what I'm saying? Like this kid, he had maybe a nickel bag on his counter. Oh, he had weed in the home. If she was a police officer, so how the fuck she knew he had weed in the home? They try to paint black folk as criminals every time something like this happens. Trayvon Martin, bad kid. Does being a bad kid justify murder? Let's see. Here's another thing. Cooper Jones says her son's legacy is already bringing changes to the world. Does that mean that people are trimming their toenails now? What the hell that got to do with anything? Because that racist ass attorney talked about his quote unquote dirty toenails. These are the comments on Fox News. This is what Fox News cater to. You can't tell them that now they're offended. He's being sarcastic. Ever notice a certain race, the mother always has a different last name? Look at this. Ever notice a certain race, the mother always has a different last name? Ahmaud Arbery, Mrs. Cooper, what's her last name? Cooper Jones. I want to make sure I get it right. Yep, Cooper Jones. So, could it be that she was married, got divorced, and remarried? Could it be that her and Ahmaud Arbery's father, could it be that Arbery is his father's last name? And that Mrs. Cooper Jones decided to, hey, Ahmaud is born, I'm going to give him his father's last name? Could it be that it's none of your goddamn business why their last names are different? Ever notice a certain race? This is Fox News. This is what Fox News caters to. They look at their demographics. They look at their statistics and their analytics, and they cater their news commentary. They cater their news reports. They cater to these people, and that's why we have such vitriol and hate in this country. Is the division in this country. It's not all Fox News, but they are feeding into it because why? It promotes profits. And that's their bottom line. Something tells me she wouldn't be so outspoken if the defendant was black. Well, let's look at the case. Father, son, and friend murder a black man. They happen to be white. The district attorney in that area did not prosecute them. It took Black Lives Matter getting to the media and a lot of other people to raise concerns about this murder. It took them 3-4 months to actually charge these guys with a crime. Because at first, the district attorney, I think, the person that was going to prosecute the case was a friend of the father or the neighbor. And nobody was going to prosecute this case. Now that person is going up for trial. Because they tried to put this, the small town in Georgia, they tried to bury this murder. They tried to bury it. And if it wasn't for people in Black Lives Matter and a lot of other people getting to the media and saying we need to shine a light on this case, it wouldn't have got resolved. Just saw a black man on the news spent 43 years in jail for a crime he did not commit. 43 years. Here you go right here. Because of a crooked DA, this case nearly never made it inside a courtroom. What exactly do you think her son should be held accountable for in this situation? Entering a house that was under construction with no windows or doors and then leaving without taking anything? Something a whole bunch of other people also did. That's true. They got videotape of other people doing the same thing. He was trespassing. That raises suspicion. People stealing building materials. Accountability. Yes, he was trespassing. Yes, he was trespassing. Does that equate to murder? Does that equate to murder? The punishment did not fit the crime in this situation. If the kid was if the kid was trespassing, those 3 squat jobs should have went over to the kid and said, hey, we got a lot of crime in this area. Even if he was black or white, didn't matter. We got a lot of crime in this area. You should not be over here. Please get off this area. And if you didn't leave, I'm going to have to call the police because you're trespassing. It's not their property, but it's their neighborhood. I'm going to have to call the police. You're trespassing. Or better yet, stay in your freaking home and watch the situation. Take a description. Black male, anywhere from the age of, let's say, I don't know, Ahmaud Arbery looks like he's like 19 to 22. Height, I don't know, 5'8", 5'9". He had on a blue shirt, white pants, whatever, these kind of shoes. This is his description. So if he walked out with something, hey, he walked out with some lead pipe or some copper pipe. Give it to the police and let them handle it. It did not justify murder. So yeah, this is, and I saw a couple of these things and I was not going to do a video this morning, but I was like, this is terrible. And they talk about accountability. What am I saying? Yeah. So they talk about accountability. A lot of these people talked about the riots, Black Lives Matter riots, right? And that these guys are looters, they're rioters, they should be prosecuted, they should be brought to justice, and things like that. And I think I may mention this before. But no one mentions January 6th and how everybody that walked inside that Capitol that was not supposed to be there, January 6th, should be tried and prosecuted. How about this? They were all trespassing. Everybody that was in that crowd that walked inside. I'm not even talking about on the Capitol lawn. I'm not even talking about the Capitol steps. Everybody that walked inside the Capitol that was not supposed to be there were trespassing. So should they have not been shot? If they were trespassing, they should have been murdered, right? Right? Trespassers, right? Looters, rioters. They should be brought down. It's funny how Kyle Rittenhouse is praised for taking down looters, but the January 6th police officers are vilified for shooting at someone trying to jump through a freaking window. Make it make sense. I'm going to get up out of here. I hope you... Hey, look, I had a great Thanksgiving. The family, we drove home. We got to see some family members. Not all, but we got to see some. Had a great time. Had a great time. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Let's not get into the history of the murder and genocide that occurred. I'm not saying let's celebrate the story that we've been given since childhood, that the Indians and the Pilgrims came together and they feasted. No, I'm not talking about that part of it. I'm talking about just being with family, taking that day to be with family, to be with friends, and to give thanks for being here. Because who knows, we could be walking down the street and get shot by 3 white men. So, hey, you guys have a great Friday. Hope you had a great week. Kids go back to school on Monday. Thank Jesus for that. And I will see you guys on the next one, all right? Y'all take care. I'm out.